Welcome back to Teck Talking Shop. I'm Cass. Now, you may recognize me from my YouTube channel, Speedwrench. You're wondering yourself right now, what are you doing on Teck Talking Shop? Well, I'll give you the quick answer. I have been invited to join Teck Talking Shop, and I have accepted. Now, right now, I'm hearing a collective laughter coming from everybody because you're like, hey, they post every month, and maybe you don't post that often. Now, I am going to post every month, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of, keeping up with everybody over here at Teck Talking Shop. There's a lot of good people over here. Now, as part of my introduction to joining Teck Talking Shop, I need to kind of let y'all know who I am, where I'm from, how I got my start in this industry, where I've been and where I'm going. Now, to let you know who I am, my name is Cass, and I'm from a little tiny town in Texas called Dripping Springs, right? Now, Dripping Springs is next to a kind of a large town called Austin. And how I got my start in the trade is kind of funny, right? Kind of like a lot of folks, whenever you're a little kid, you go and you take apart, your bicycle, maybe some of your toys, maybe your parents' recliner. Maybe you put it back together. Maybe you don't. Maybe they have to buy another recliner. Who knows, right? So we'll fast forward a few years through my youth, and we get up to high school years, right? And so when I was in high school, I got a truck. I really wanted to learn how to work on a truck. I really felt like kind of like dumb that I didn't know. So I had like a thought. I'm like, I know what to do. I'll sign up for the auto shop class. And I'm like, okay. So I go and I sign up for auto shop class. In the first year, we learned some stuff. We have a good time. They introduced us to a lot of things. Just get comfortable working on the truck, and I really like step up what I know. And it helped out, and it's a real entry level type deal. We get to year 2, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, nice, take you auto shop, I'll learn some more, and we'll kind of figure things out. Well, we have this recruiter come in from UTI, which is a trade school, and they go and they tell us all about, how much money we're going to make and all the success we're going to have. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, hey, I can do that. In fact, I want to do that. So I go and I grab that recruiter. I'm like, what do I got to do to sign up like today? And he's like, okay, we'll get you signed up. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I'm going to go to trade school. I better go and get a job working in the trade before I go. So I'm not like the dumbest person at trade school. So I go and I find a shop in our local area. I talk to the guy. He's a good guy. I'm like, hey, I want to be a part of this trade. I don't care if I have to start sweeping the floors, doing whatever. I don't care. Minimum wage. I'll work whatever hours you ask me. I want to be a part of this. I'm going to go to trade school after I graduate high school. Maybe I come back to work for you. Maybe I don't. But I want to be a part of this industry. So he's like, sweet. He hires me on. I start off as the shop porter, clean up, mop the floors, do some oil changes, stuff like that. Training services, simple services, right? And so the good thing about this shop is he had some really high standards, and he had, there was just there's no excuse for nothing but the best you could do. So working there was a really good eye-opening experience. And so I start working there, I work my way up. I get to doing like brake jobs and tune-ups and stuff like that. So we fast forward to the end of the school year, and, and I graduate and all that stuff, and it's time to go to UTI. Well, I don't make it to UTI. And the reason I don't make it to UTI is I really felt like I was learning more working alongside him and working in that shop environment. And so I decided I was just going to stay and do that. And that worked well. So we go through probably the next 5 years, and I work my way up, and I'm, like probably mid-grade guy, right? I'm maybe not the top tier guy, but I'm knocking on the door. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, I'm like, man, I'm really lacking in one area. And that's my diagnostics. And, that was a self-evaluation. The guy I worked for, he never really said anything to me about it. So I go and I enroll in a local trade school at a community college. And go in there with an open mind and, some really hard work ethic. And it really paid off, I think. Well, obviously. But it worked. It paid off going in there with an open mind. I was able to go in there and really establish myself. I learned how to, not necessarily, I didn't learn any one particular thing, but I learned how to learn at a faster rate. I learned how to gather information. I learned how to look for that information at a really fast rate. It also helped that I had some high standards because the school had high expectations for everybody that's in the classes. So I go through trade school, I get out. My diet game is a lot better. Not because any one thing I learned there, but it was a lot better because I knew how to gather information more efficiently, right? So I go through probably the next 10 years, I'm working my way up, and I finally get myself into like this upper tier guy in the shop, and that's doing real well there. And then we probably go another 6 years where I'm kind of like the main guy in the shop. And then I got an awesome opportunity to go work with one of my former coworkers, where I go from an employee to self-employed. And being self-employed, you kind of get to make your own schedule. And there's a few other benefits that go along with it. I'll explain that probably another day. But I was really excited about doing that. So I hop over, I did that. And so we fast forward finally about 5 years. So now we're here at the 26-year mark. And I've decided I want to take one more step. I want to go from being just self-employed or an employee to an owner. And there's a lot of things that come with being an owner of a shop, owner of a business. One, you get to make all the decisions. You get to, decide how everything flows, but also you're in charge, and anything that you decide you may have to answer for. So there's a give and take on that. But I'm really excited about where I've been, what I've done, and where I'm going. And I'm very excited about joining this Teck Talking Shop family. Now, these are some really great people that are in this group. I really look forward to posting alongside of them. Hopefully I can hold my end of the deal up, and just we'll see what happens. So from the Speedwrench World headquarters, this is Teck Talking Shop. Thanks for watching.